So let's just say that the Chiefs decide to go the draft route with tight end, Mike, to try to find that successor to Travis Kelce. Whether Kelce plays one more year or not, it has to get done.
Kenyon Sadiq, I think, is a great move tight end and could seamlessly just kind of fit in with the Chiefs offense.
If you kind of compare it to Travis Kelce, I feel like he's very close to hitting that ceiling that Travis Kelce had athletically.
He's going to give you what Noah Gray gives you to the extreme. I think he's worth a top 20 pick.
Eli Stowers, when you compare him to Kelce, he's got that similar IQ where he used to be a quarterback. He can find the soft spots in the zones. He knows where he needs to be at.
Look, he's got reliable hands. You mentioned that he only had 2 drops in the past 2 seasons. So
Crazy.
That's it. And then, like you said, he was the John Mackey Award winner, which was best tight end in the country, proven SEC production. He helped turn around with Diego Pavia, just a trash team at Vanderbilt. And I'm sorry if there's any Vanderbilt fans out there, but they were a laughing stock in football.
But y'all, let's talk about a couple of draft prospects. And since we're on the theme today of tight end, let's start off with the one that everybody loves, Mr. Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon, Mike. He's an exciting tight end, man. Let me know what you think about this dude.
Yeah, I really like Kenyon Sadiq. He's my number 1 tight end by far. I think he's worth a top 20 pick. There may be some people argue with me on that. They say maybe he's fell down in the 2nd round. Look, I think he's an athletic freak. I don't know how many times I can say that. The dude looks insane. He's got crazy measurables. He used to be a quarterback, I think, in high school.
Isn't that like a telltale thing with these tight ends? Travis Kelce used to be a quarterback.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing. Look, he was a former wide receiver as well. So he's got yak ability. He had 10 missed tackles forced. He's very versatile. He can go wide. He can go in the slot. He can play inline. He can even give you special teams. He's an elite special teams guy. Like Kenyon Sadiq, I think, is a great move tight end and could seamlessly just kind of fit in with the Chiefs offense.
Right.
He's going to give you what Noah Gray gives you to the extreme. And I think he can very well take over for Kelce. Again, he's a little bit undersized. Everybody says he's too small, but look, he's right in line with Isaiah Likely. We're not wanting our tight ends and asking our tight ends to go block against a 300-pound guy on the edge anyway.
100%.
That's not what they do. So look, his size, I'll give it to him. He's a little undersized. We'll say he's not going to be a great inline blocker. Big deal. Oregon liked to utilize him in the screen usage. So about 52% of his catches in 2024 was just from a screen. So people say, well, his route running, this and that. They used him in a screen for a reason, because he's a freak athlete. He's not easy to take down, and he's a yak monster. We need a guy that's a bigger, faster Rashee Rice on the field, a bigger, faster, younger-looking Travis Kelce. Why not? Like, it's never a bad thing. So, yes, could he improve his route running in the NFL route tree? Absolutely. That comes with time, and guess what? If you draft him and Travis Kelce's sitting there, who better to learn from than to go to tight end you every single day of 2026?
Right. Mike, you mentioned his stats, 2025, 51 receptions, 560 yards, and 8 touchdowns. I mean, if you look at the strengths of Kenyon Sadiq, you nailed it. He's a freak athlete, right? He's got elite athleticism, a 41.5-inch vertical. He's got very natural hands, and he can high point the ball very well. He's explosive. That speed, it creates vertical mismatches against safeties. And that's kind of, if you kind of compare it to Travis Kelce, I feel like he's very close to hitting that ceiling that Travis Kelce had athletically, right? Like, remember when Kelce was younger, he was more of a vertical threat. And we don't see that much anymore, but Kenyon Sadiq can offer you that. You mentioned the only weakness with Kenyon Sadiq is always going to be his frame. They're going to say he's undersized at 6'3", 245. He's not going to be a consistent inline blocker, blah, blah, blah. But Mike, you nailed it again. We don't need that. That's not what we do. We never asked Kelce to be a crazy blocker. Now, could he do it? Absolutely. Kelce can block, but we don't ask him to do it just a whole lot. It's not like he's George Kittle. He's not Gronkowski. We don't ask our guys to do that. And I think knowing that, Kenyon Sadiq's a perfect target. However, he's going to be a little rich. Mike, you said something about him falling in the 2nd round. I just can't see it. I think he's undoubtedly the first round talent out of that position. Like if there's any first round talent at that position, it is Kenyon Sadiq. They're projecting him mid to late first round, 15 to 25 range is where he's being projected. And I think that's kind of where he's going to go. So can the Chiefs be a player for Kenyon Sadiq? That's the big question, because if they're picking at number 9, you're not going to reach that far on a tight end. You're just not. But if they trade back, and pick up an extra pick, and they pick up a later pick in the first round, that's when you could see them take a shot on Kenyon Sadiq. If you see them trade back and they gain a pick, that's when you might see them pull the trigger on a Kenyon Sadiq and go for a tight end that could be athletic, take over Kelce's role, moldable. I mean, he's a little bit raw, so I feel like they can kind of mold him into how they want him to be. And he's got all the athleticism in the world. And I think it would be a very interesting thing to see him with the Chiefs, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. I misspoke a little bit. Kenyon Sadiq was not a quarterback. He was a former wide receiver.
Okay.
So I misspoke on that one.
Hey, but even better, baby. That's what we're going to use him as.
The other guy that we're going to talk about in a little bit, he was a former quarterback. So I just got those wires crossed a little bit. But here's my thing. Andy Reid loves chess pieces. Hey, he loves people that can motion, people that'll come in and out of the backfield, that can split out wide, they can hide in the slot, they can do every bit of that. They use timing and leverage. This is what he loves. That's what Andy Reid loves. And so he wants that quote joker weapon in an offense. That's what he wants. And this is a guy in Kenyon Sadiq that is perfect for that. Like, there's just something about watching Kenyon Sadiq film. To me, he's one of the few guys in this draft that I put the tape on and I'm like, I really like this guy.
Blue chip
I can
guy.
see this guy. Like, he is legit. And look, his offensive coordinator there, Will Stein, he is now at UK. He's going to be head coach at UK. And honestly, I think Will Stein underutilized him in Oregon. I really do. I think Kenyon Sadiq could have been a 1,000-yard receiver if they'd have used him properly. And they just really didn't do it. Like, they had so many weapons and they would do fun little gadget things and this and that. And I just don't think Kenyon Sadiq was even used to his full potential. I think he's every bit of a big-time weapon that could turn into this next great, because it seems like every year there's one or two tight ends that just come out and you're like, man, I can't believe the Chiefs passed him up. I believe Sadiq's going to fall right into that category.
Absolutely could. Just kind of put a bow on Kenyon Sadiq. Here's what he is, man. Offensive row, vertical threat, red zone weapon. He's got that Kelce factor. Like I said, I think he's the closest to Kelce's athletic ceiling, but it comes with a high price tag, as he's going to probably be a first round pick in the draft. And you just don't know if you can use a number 9 pick on a tight end.
Right.
So I don't know if the Chiefs are going to fall into that wheelhouse unless they trade back. But y'all, let's talk about another tight end, the 2025 John Mackey Award winner, which means he was the top college tight end and former quarterback, as you mentioned. We're talking about Eli Stowers, Vanderbilt. Yeah. He's got a unique mental edge here because, like you said, he used to be a quarterback. So he's got that exceptional quarterback brain, if you will. He can find the soft spots in zone coverage. He's got elite yak ability, The
next great playoff touchdown is coming, and you can bet on every moment of postseason glory. We've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook because playoff football delivers the biggest scores of the year, and every trip to the end zone matters more than ever. Whether it's first touchdown score, anytime touchdown, player props, or same-game parlays, DraftKings gives you more ways to ride the adrenaline of every score during Super Bowl 60. Right now, new customers that bet $5 can get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins by signing up using our promo code ACU. With DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Polished route runner, reliable hands. I mean, this kid is really good. He finished 2025 with 62 receptions, 769 yards, which led all power 4 tight ends and 4 touchdowns. The weaknesses they like to come at him with, same thing. It's his frame, very light for the position. He's only about 235 pounds. That limits his ceiling, is like the trench bully or inline blocker and everything that people talk about with George Kittle and all those guys. But once again, we don't really use our tight ends that way, so it's not a huge problem for me. And also, his draft projection is early to mid second round, but some people have him slipping into the third. So he could definitely be in the Chiefs' wheelhouse, because if the Chiefs decide to go, say edge rusher or wide receiver or running back, what have you, in the first round, they're not picking again until, mid-second round. So
It's pick 40, yeah.
right, Kenyon Sadiq's going to be long gone by then. So your next target is going to be Eli Stowers, Mike. I think he's excellent. He's a high volume, big slot chain mover. And that's what Patrick Mahomes needs. He needs that security blanket, right? He's pretty, and Eli Stowers, when you compare him to Kelce, he's got that similar IQ where he used to be a quarterback. He can find the soft spots in the zones. He knows where he needs to be at. He can get on the same page with the quarterback. The way that Kelce and Mahomes used to have that little connection there. And I think he could definitely do that. And like I said, second round pick, maybe third, definitely doable, man. I really like Eli Stowers.
Right. Look, you mentioned it. Stowers is a guy you're going to pick up possibly in the second round, maybe early third round. But I would say pick 40 is where you're going to be looking at him to start to come off the board. He's clumped right there in the mid-second. And I would say all these guys are probably top 75 players. But you're going to have Eli Stowers. You're going to have Michael Trigg from Baylor. You're going to have Max Clare out of Ohio State. Those are going to be like your second clump behind Sadiq. And then there's a few other ones we may get to in just a little bit. But Stowers is a guy that I really like. And I like him better than Michael Trigg. I think Michael Trigg has got a lot of problems out of Baylor. I don't think he plays special teams worth of crap. I think for a tight end, he shies away from trying to get hit, which you can't have. He basically quit on Ole Miss when he wasn't even put in his system and ended up at Baylor. So I got some major red flags for him. And not to mention he's 24 years old, so he's a little older. So for me, it'd be Stowers and Clare out of Ohio State. And honestly, I like Stowers' athletic ability a lot better. I really do. Like you mentioned, he's a former QB, so he is elite, and he's got that feel for just finding soft spots in zones and things like that. He was the high jump champion, I'm pretty sure, in high school. So he can get up. He can get up quick. He can get up above corners. He has exceptional body control when he does it. Look, he's got reliable hands. You mentioned it. He only had 2 drops in the past 2 seasons. So
Crazy.
That's it. And then, like you said, he was the John Mackey Award winner, which was, best tight end in the country, proven SEC production. He goes against, he helped turn around with Diego Pavia, just a trash team in Vanderbilt. And I'm sorry if there's any Vanderbilt fans out there, but they were a laughing stock in football for years and years and years. And in 2 years, they turned them around into, I don't want to say a powerhouse, but they were right up there, man. And look, he's got some things that people don't like. They say he's a little light in the pants, Well, he's just a slot player. He's not going to be able to block. He's going to telegraph some routes here and there. He don't play special teams a lot. Okay, I get it. Special teams, with even Trigg, I could let that go with special teams a little bit. Because you're not going to let your starting tight end play special teams anyways. Kelce's not playing special teams, right? So the thing is I can let that go a little bit, but I'm not going to let go you shying away from contact, you giving up on your team, you doing things like that. And look, Stowers don't have any of that. Stowers is awesome. Him and Pavia have been together for a few years. Everything about the kid I really like. He's one of my top 3-4 tight ends for sure. I haven't decided where I want to settle with him, but I really like him, Steve. I think he's a nice fit for the Chiefs, man. I really do. I think he could be used in pop passes, seam routes, choice routes, you name it. He's going to be able to do it. And the thing about it is we seen him perform in the SEC, and that's big. And I think at minimum, he comes in and gives you what Noah Gray should give you, but I think he's got a higher upside than Noah Gray did coming out of an ACC school in Duke. And look, we talked about this a little bit off camera. I would almost see if I could find somebody to trade Noah Gray off to this offseason. I think Noah Gray would be a nice trade partner because he's at 26. He's played behind Kelce. He's got a little bit of film out there that lets you think that maybe a team like the Dolphins, right? A team like the Dolphins or somebody that don't have a lot to spend, but they need somebody. Maybe they can come out and throw a little cheap draft pick for Noah Gray.
Can we get this straight? I think Noah Gray could be a very good tight end in the NFL with higher volume. I do.
Right, but I don't think it's going to be in Kansas City.
No, but I mean, I could definitely see him being a valuable piece for somebody. And I could see people thinking that when they watch him play. Like
Absolutely.
he's definitely flash. But let's just say that the Chiefs decide to go the draft route with tight end, Mike, to try to find that successor to Travis Kelce. Whether Kelce plays one more year or not, it has to get done. So let's just say the Chiefs go that route. They're going to go the draft. Who do you think is the better successor for Travis Kelce out of Eli Stowers and Kenyon Sadiq? Because I can tell you the way I see it. I think that Stowers is arguably more pro ready for a specific way that Travis Kelce plays today, which is like using leverage, finding the open space, and acting as a safety valve, basically. He's got that history as a QB, which gives him that telepathic connection with Patrick Mahomes that I was talking about. So I feel like he could arguably be the more pro-ready one. However, Kenyon Sadiq, he would be the better successor if you want to regain the explosive vertical element that Kelce provided back in his prime. Sadiq's often compared to Brock Bowers for his ability to be the best athlete on the field at any given time, and I think that would be the way to look at it there. So I kind of want to know what you think. Who do you think would be the better successor?
It's easy. I would say, obviously, it's Kenyon Sadiq. He's my number one.
Okay.
I think he's my number one by far. Kenyon Sadiq is one of my top favorite probably 5 to 10 guys in this entire draft. He's a my guy. Kenyon Sadiq, I really love him. He was the first guy I fell in love with watching film. I like his attitude. I like his body frame. Everything about what he does. I feel like he loves to play the game. I like him. Now, look, if the Chiefs pass on him because we're sitting at a weird spot at number 9, you may not get him. The only way you're going to get him is, like you said, you trade down or you get rid of McDuffie out of the blue and you maybe get a late first-round pick and you can do something. Other than that, you're looking at second round and on. And look, I would be fine with Eli Stowers too. I would be super excited. I think he's a more athletic, a better pro-ready player than what Noah Gray is when Noah Gray come out. And you see that Noah Gray, like you said, could have probably been a successor to Travis Kelce if Kelce would have maybe dropped off a little quicker or retired sooner or whatever. But I think he's picking at it so much that I feel like Noah Gray's kind of losing his luster a little bit because he kind of fell off a little bit last year in a lot of situations. He was dropping balls, didn't look like his head was in it a lot of times. So there was a few things there. I think he needs to go get a fresh start, get a draft pick from him. I would be super pumped for Eli Stowers. There's a lot of guys right there that I would be decently happy with. Like I said, Max Clare, I wouldn't bat an eye at. Joe Royer out of Cincinnati, another Cincinnati kid. There's a few down there. Sam Roush out of Stanford. I talked about him. I think he's moving up probably into the second round. I think Todd McShay's saying that he's quickly becoming his number 2 or number 1 tight end fighting with Sadiq. So I think you're going to get guys that pop up in the draft, but I'm super excited I would be excited with Stowers at 40, and I would be pumped with Sadiq, and I can't say at 9. So I would say Sadiq at like 15 or 16 if you trade back.
You got to trade back, baby. I don't know about number 9. Guys, let us know what you think. Get down in the comments. We want to know if you think Travis Kelce is going to give Kansas City one more year or not. Even if he does, do you like the free agency route? Do you like Isaiah Likely? Do you like Kyle Pitts? You want to pay a bunch of money for Pitts? Tell us what you think. Would you rather go with the draft route? And if so, which one of these guys that we talked about today do you think would be the better pick for the Chiefs to be that successor to Travis Kelce, whether it's Kenyon Sadiq or Eli Stowers? If you're watching on YouTube, we freaking appreciate you. Just hit that like button for us. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And you know the drill, man. Share us with your friends. Help us out. You can become a member at join.allchiefedup.com on YouTube. $5 a month. Get some members-only live streams. We give away stuff. It's fun. You can buy stuff at the merch store, merch.allchiefedup.com, and help support the channel and get some pretty cool swag. So that's going to wrap it up for today, man. And we'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs.